You are a quiet one. Usually, prisoners beg for me to release them by now. His voice also had a sense of pretentiousness about it. Formal, intelligent. It gave the impression he was not to be underestimated. I enjoy foreplay. Nothing gets me going more than being starved and listening to your breathing in the dark. I soured my words, tapping the back of my head against the wall. Ah, there's the fighter I remember in the woods. I wince. When he and a few of his men found me at the edge of their territory, the fight that followed had been quite the ordeal. 5 against 1 was hardly fair, but I'd made it very difficult for them. Inwardly, I smiled. You nearly took out one of my men. Your will to fight is admirable. Was that amusement in his voice? How's that one guy's head? I asked, remembering hitting one of them with the hilt of my dagger. Still on bed rest. How's yours? I stifled a laugh as I pushed off the wall to stand up, remembering when I hit the one with my dagger hilt. Another grabbed me from behind, and I swung my head back to connect with his nose. He should have ducked, but I'm good. While not completely true, the dull ache in my head roared to life from time to time. He wouldn't get that from me, though. Feeling the wall until I found the iron bars, I leaned against them as I stretched my back. The pops and release felt like a cool drink of water after a hot summer day. Bliss. Thor tells me you're not an immediate threat. I have my doubts, he said, along with the sounds of clinking and creaking of the lock and key. He said he would take responsibility for you. My shoulders stiffened. The door swung open, and a light approached. Inching closer and closer with steady, quickened footsteps, I groaned when his face came into view. Thor, the man who'd put me in a headlock and hit the pressure point on my neck days ago. A bitter bile rose in my throat. My eyes narrow as a corner of his mouth upturned into a smirk. Cocky little brat. When they first put me in the dark, damp dungeon, he asked me over and over what my motives were, where I was from, and why I was there. My response was the same. I'm a wild. His voice made my skin crawl by this point. His casual, jovial tone insinuating he was anyone's friend. With all the orders, it was hard to keep straight what land belonged to who these days. Our little wild here is not a threat. She just doesn't like getting caught. Kinda like giving a cat a bath. She's spunky but not dangerous, Thor said as I took a step toward him, ready to pounce to teach him a lesson. I'll show you a wild, I hissed, pulling my fist back when Lyran grabbed my arm and held it behind me like a vice. Damn, this guy is strong. Don't make me throw you back in there, he said, his voice low. He sighed. And you, he pointed to Thor. Don't antagonize her more than necessary. You said you'd take responsibility for her. Letting go of my hand, he draped a piece of fabric over my shoulder. Tie this so you can't see. You honestly think I will let this asshole have responsibility for me? You're as stupid as he is, I said, as I grabbed the fabric roughly. The alternate plan is that you go back in here until you either die or go insane. Either way will not make me lose any sleep, Lyran whispered in my ear, low and foreboding. Evaluating my decisions, I groaned in frustration as he moved his face away from mine. I complied and tried to find Lyran with my elbow to give a small strike, but he effortlessly dodged my pathetic effort. I tried to give myself a small space so I could at least look down. Unfortunately, the man is untrusting and pulled the fabric so that I couldn't have that luxury. If he was going to tighten it, why did he have me do it in the first place? He gripped my forearm to keep it at my side and easily wrapped his calloused hands around my arm. He avoids gripping me too tight, but the warning is there. Don't run. You're no fun, was all Thor said as he led the way down the series of halls. This place was a maze. I had no idea which way was which as they weaved me through the corridors. The day they captured me flashes in my mind. I'd spent my entire life on the run. I knew how to evade. But that night had been so oddly peaceful, and I should have known it would all change. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 5 days ago, asterisk, 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 Milana. Hearing my name somewhere in a memory, I opened my eyes to no one but nature surrounding me. Morning had come, and I continued to glance around as I stretched. A dream, but one that I did not remember. Just a woman's voice. Calming, like a mother's would be. Maybe it was my mother's voice. I couldn't picture her anymore. Rage and the thought of revenge blurred my memories. I could worry about remembering my family after my deed was done. If there was any justice, I would be joining them in the hell saved for betrayal.